Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's hard level difficulty puzzle. And it's called Fog and Phantoms, High Seas, Low Spirits, and it's by Dubious Mobius. And it's the sequel of a puzzle, but I did not do that puzzle, and it's a 6x6, so I'm not the biggest fan of doing 6x6 Sudokus. It just doesn't. I usually don't. I usually like 9x9s or 4x4s very rarely, Sudoku wise. So I usually don't do 6x6s. I don't know. There's something about it that I don't really enjoy as much. I'm not sure why, actually. It just, maybe it's the lack of, how do you say it? The lack of symmetricalness about it. I don't know. Something about it just doesn't strike me as that interesting. Well, not interesting, but it's not as much fun for me. So I tend not to do 6x6s. But if you want to do the 6x6, I'll I'll post a link to the previous puzzle, or the again, this is a sequel of another puzzle, and I'll post that link then in the description if you want to try that one, to the post. Anyways, let's get to the rules here for this puzzle. 11 years later. Your father's always been a strange one. Who's heard of a navigator who won't set foot on a ship? Still, he makes a tidy living selling the charts he draws from memory. He won't touch a lock, so tonight you're stuck at home, waiting to unbar the door when he returns. What the? Why are you stuck in the... Why are you... Anyways. You don't mind. Okay, well, I guess you don't mind. It gives you a chance to open up his trunk and look through the relics of the life he left. You pull out the false bottom he doesn't think you know about, palm his compass, and unroll the old map he refuses to sell. The Odusku Strait, a perilous tangle of reefs. Your heart hammers as you set the compass upon the parchment. It's doing it again, wandering this way and that, but never pointing north. You run the brass across the parchment, and it traces out the edges of something. Tonight, you're going to figure out what. Now let's get to the actual rules. We have normal Sudoku rules apply, which means in every cell in the grid, place a single digit such that every row, column, and designated 9-cell region contains the digits 1 through 9 exactly once each. We have phantoms. Some clues are phantoms and may only reveal themselves as the grid is shaded. For this reason, you may only shade the grid once allowed to by the other rules. So phantoms appear once you shade the grid. And you can, so therefore don't shade the grid unless you're allowed to by other rules. Seas and reefs. Use two colors to shade the grid. So this is the shading that we're talking about. The digits 6 through 9 will represent reefs, while the digits 1 through 5 will represent navigatable water. Navigable, sorry. Not navigatable. Though actually you could use navigatable too. That could work potentially. I think it means essentially the same thing. Okay, so 6 through 9 represent reefs, and 1 through 5 will represent navigable water. Within each 3x3 box, the reef cells will form a single orthogonally connected group, as will the water cells. Interesting. So within a 3x3 box, the reefs must form an orthogonally connected group, as will the water cells. And what is an orthogonally connected group? It means you can go from any cell in that group to any other cell in that group just by going through edges, all while staying within that group. Okay. And I don't want to shade here for as an example, but both the reefs and the navigable water have to form a single orthogonally connected group. So you can't have this be part of essentially one group and then the rest be essentially like here, right? You have to be able to orthogonally connect from any cell in the reef group to any other cell in the reef group. And same with any group in the navigable water group, and they have to be able to go through edges while staying within the region for that region, whether it's reef or navigable water. And that's for every 3x3 box. And you may only shade a cell once you have determined whether it is reef or water. So if you haven't determined anything about it, you cannot shade things, because then that will expose the phantoms probably prematurely. And that's how seas and reefs work. We have difference arcs, where the digit placed in a cell containing a pair of spoked arcs, I think it's like this, will be equal to the difference between the values of those arcs. And each arc has a value equal to the sum of the neighboring cells that their spokes point towards. Wait, okay, so this is an example, I guess. So this would be the sum of the neighboring cells that their spokes points to. So this has one arc going from here to here, and it also has a digit there. So it will be the difference between the values of those arcs, and each arc is equal to the sum of the neighboring cells that their spokes points toward. So these 7 digits has a sum that must have a difference that is going to be this number away from this number here. Okay, that seems rather limiting, but I'm not sure because I haven't really thought through what that means. But it does mean that these have to be a certain amount this way. And this is one arc here. And then this is a second arc here. I guess we could have here and here. This is probably easier to understand. So this is one arc here, and this is one arc here. So this difference between these two digits must be the digit that's in that arc. That's in the difference arc, which has the pair of spoked arcs, right? And the arc can be obviously just a point. Oh, here's an example. For example, the arcs in row 3, column 7, indicate that the cell to the southwest of it will differ from the sum of this other cells around it by the digit placed in row 3, column 7. So that was correct. So that the difference between these 7 cells and this cell must be the digit that's in row 3, column 7. That's what it means. We have dynamic fog of war, where most of the grid is covered in fog. Placing a correct digit in a cell will always clear the fog from that cell, and it may clear fog elsewhere in the grid. So if you place this digit in this cell correctly, it will clear the fog in that cell. And it may clear other fog somewhere else in the puzzle. Note, phantoms are tricksy and will cause some clues to temporarily disappear when the pen tool is open. Okay. Don't worry, the clues will return when the tool is closed, and any markings you have done in the meantime will remain. Okay, I don't really know what the phantoms do, but sure. Okay. And those are all the rules. Phantoms are tricksy and will cause some clues to temporarily disappear when the pen tool is open. The clues will return when the tool is closed, and any markings you have done in the meantime will remain. Okay, so those are all the rules. If you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And as I said before, I'll place a link to the previous or this puzzle that this is a sequel of. I guess the prequel of this puzzle. In I'll post it to I could just post it to direct the actual prequel, the link to the puzzle itself, because I don't know if you want to necessarily go through the post to take a look at what it is, because it should have all the rules in the puzzle itself. Anyways, there will be multiple links in the description if you'd like to play along or if you'd like to try the prequel to this. And now I'm gonna get started. Let's go. Okay, these 7 digits must have a difference with this digit here. Well, this is 1, 2, 3 at minimum. This is 1, 2 at minimum, and this is 1, 2 at minimum. What does that add up to? 1, 2 times 3 is 9, plus 3 is 12. So this is going to have to be the bigger one of these puzzles. Can we ever have... So how is this going to work here? Can this ever be... Can we ever have a reef there? I think the answer is... Well, if you have a reef here, it has to orthogonally connect to the rest of the reefs in the puzzle. So we would have to have at minimum 9 here, and then one of these is 6. So 1, 2, 6. Sorry, maximum of 9 there. 1, 2, 6 is 9 already, so you could have a difference between that and 6. That is possible. What about this, if we have reef here? You have these two. Hmm. What else do we know about this? Okay. So what is a 3 by 3? So there are 5 cells which are navigable sea. So sea, and then we have reef. The sea has to be orthogonally connected to itself. So does the reef. It's just within the 3 by 3 box, right, that we have that information, right? Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Can either of these be reef here? Possibly, right? Oh, no, okay, so hmm. The difference between these two must be that digit there. Obviously, if we have a reef here, it has to be the difference between a reef and a small digit. So one of these digits is definitely small. We're not sure which. Could be all three of them are small. Hmm. That's interesting. Could we have reef here? So double reef. I don't think so, right? So if we have reef, and then this is reef, you would have to have 6 and 7 at minimum here, which is 13, plus 1 is 14, plus 6. So it cannot be 2 reefs in this set of 3. Right? Because again, 6, 7 plus 1 is at minimum 14. 14 plus 3 and 3 twice is 20, and 2 digits can never add up to 20. So you can have at most 1 reef here. You could have a reef though, but you don't have to have a reef. That's the issue. That's interesting. So you can't have you can only have 1 reef here amongst these 3. If you have more, if you have, again, one of these has to be at least non-reef. If you try to have all 3 of these be non-reef, so all 3 of these are C, we have to have 4 reefs in the puzzle. And the problem is they have to all be orthogonally connected. So if they're all orthogonally connected, that means it would have to be something like these 4, or these 4, or these 4, which would guarantee there's 2 reefs in this set of 3 when we know that's not possible. Because it can't be like 2 here and 2 here, because then they are not orthogonally connected in the 3x3 box. So this cannot be 3 C cells here, because that doesn't work as reef cells to be orthogonally connected in the 3x3 box here. So we know then this has to be a reef, or one of these has to be a reef. Can we have a reef in 2 C cells? No, because to have 4 orthogonally connected here or here, right, again, these can't be you can't have 2 reef cells be here and then this be non-reef. You can't even just have 3 reef cells here, right? Because the reef cells are 6 through 9. And the difference between 2 digits, one being a reef, you could have at most 2 digits, one being the difference and the other being the other reef cell. Because 6 and 9 don't have a difference of greater than 3 at most. So that's not going to work for this set. So you can't, and the thing is, if you have reef and reef here, that's not going to work either. Because then this cell would be C to have a difference between those. And the C must be orthogonally connecting to the rest of the reef cells, but it can't because these are, sorry, the other C cells. It can't because the reef cells are blocking it. So this must be, it can't be, you can't have 3 reef cells here. So it's guaranteed to have at least 1 C cell. And we can't have 3 C cells here, or we can't even have, can we even have 2 C cells here? If we have two C cells here or two C cells here, again, they cannot be both here because that would force this reef cell to basically not be connected orthogonally to the rest of the reef cells in that 3x3. So if we try to have two reef cells this way, or sorry, two C cells here or two C cells here, you have to have reef there. And the problem is you could go reef, 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 but then you have a fourth reef in the 3x3 box, and it must be part of here or part of here to make that work, because these are CC. Which means in this set, we would have 1, 6, and 7 at minimum, and that just doesn't work for 2 digits to add up to. So this cannot be two C cells, which means it must have exactly two reef cells here. And the reef cell has to be the difference here. So this is reef cell, which we're going to color green. And one of these is green, one of these is blue. You have to have, it cannot be reef, reef here. So you have to have one of these be a reef cell here. And you can't orthogonally connect to the reef cell here. So this must be a C cell here. Okay, what does that mean then? So you can't have three reef cells. One of these is going to be C, one of these is reef. And then you could have reef, 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 or reef, reef, reef. And we can only have one of them. But we have to have one of them in this compass here. So it's at least 1, 2, 6. You cannot have a reef cell here because it can't reach. So this must be C cell. So we have C cell here. That means it's 1 through 5. We have a reef cell here. So it's 1, 2, and 6 at minimum, which is 9. 9 plus 6 is 15. There's no way that works. Does it? If this is reef cell, if this is C cell, no. 1, 2, 6 is 9. Oof, that's not good. Oh, wait. That's not going to work. Okay. Yeah, I guess that just that shows that that can't work. But we could have, what I forgot was you could have reef, 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 reef that way. Or reef, 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 reef that way. So it's going to have to be reversed. This is going to have to be C, and this is going to have to be reef. Because we tried it the other way. It just doesn't work, right? You have one reef being here. That's 1, 2, 6 at minimum, which is 9. 9 plus 3 is 15. So therefore, if that's the case, this can never be, this has to be 6 or 6 and above for both of these. So the problem is then that this has to be, so this has guaranteed to be reef, which means to orthogonally connect to it, it cannot be, it has to be reef, 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 or reef, 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 reef. It cannot have two reefs again because that doesn't work. 1, 6, 7 plus 1, 3, 2, 3. Sorry, 1, 6, 7 plus 1, 2, 1 twice is 20, which two digits can never add up to. So this is going to have to be reef, and this is actually going to have to be C. So this is guaranteed 6 through 9. And I think this is guaranteed 6 through 9, right? Because they must add up to at least 15, with the reef being there. So this is also 6 through 9. Reef has to go here, then here, or here, then here. So this is water. Oh, we have another situation here. Which points to both of those. That's interesting. Is that the phantom? I don't even know. I don't get what the phantoms are. Maybe some clues are phantoms and may only reveal themselves as the grid is shaded. Oh. Okay. I guess these just have to be the same shading, right? So 6 through 9 there. Can we actually have 6 here? If we had 6 here, this would be 1, 2, 7 at minimum. That's 10 plus 3 plus 3. And that does not work. So this has to be 7, 8, or 9. This could be 9 with 1, 2, 6. Oh, but one of these is going to have to be shaded. That means 2 of them must add up to... The 2 C cells must add up to the shaded... to the reef cell. So the 2 C cells... Huh. This is starting to become a tongue twister. The 2 water cells, that's probably easier. The 2 water cells must add up to the reef cell here. Because this is going to be the difference between these 2 arcs, which are basically 2 digits. And so it's going to be equal to double the smallest reef at least. So this has to add up to 12 at least. 12 plus 3 and 3 must be 18, which forces this to be 9 and this to be 9. So these are both 9. So we have a 9 here and a 9 here. So this has to be as a reef 6. So one of these is 6, and the other one must be 1 and 5, or 2 and 4. We have a 6 guaranteed here, and it must be with 1, 2, 4, or 5. Which means 7 and 8 as a pair, it's one of these 2. And therefore, these 2 must add up to a singleton here, a 7 or 8. How does that work? Okay, and this has to be a 1-2 pair here. Because, so these are both blue. Whoa, okay, these are both blue. So these 3 has a difference with this digit. Okay, and it must be a difference of 1 or 2. So it's the sum of 3 digits is going to be 1 or 2 away from this digit. So this is a 1-2 pair here. This is a 1-2 pair here. Okay. Okay. So this is at minimum 1, 3, 4 here. 1, 3, 4 is 8 at least. 8 minus 2 would have to be 6 here. 8 plus 2 obviously is too large, so that doesn't work for that. So, but either way, this has to be a, whatchamacallit, a reef. So this must be reef. So you have to have reef here, and this must be reef here. So this must be all C here. No 6 here, no 6 here. So this is a 6 here. Let's clear that just to make sure that that's... I don't even know if that's correct. Yeah, that cleared the space. Okay. But we already knew that. So this is 6. This is 7 or 8. So this difference must be at most... So this is green. This different... Okay, so this is 1 or 2 here. This is 7 or 8 here. Oops. This must be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here with 3. Okay. To add up to 7 or 8, it cannot be 1 with any digit. So this is guaranteed not to be 1. If we have 2 here, it would have to be with 5, but then that would eliminate all possibilities for this pair here. So this can't be 2, which means this is guaranteed 3 here with 4 or 5. That leaves this as 1 and 2. Well, we have a 1, 2, 1, 2 pair in column 7, which eliminates 1 and 2 in the rest of the column. So no 1, 2 here. This is 4, 5, which makes this a 1, 2, 1, 2 pair here. This adds up to at most 2 plus 8, which is 10. And we have to have at least 3 here. So this could be 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's it. So 6 cannot be here. Where are 7 and 8 in this box then? Can't be here, so they must be here as a pair. Because they cannot be here, because 1, 3, and 7 adds up to 11, which is not 2 away from 7 or 8. It's greater than 2 away, so or it can't be 1 or 2 away, I should say, from 7 or 8. So therefore, it can't be 7 or 8. So these must be reef. Oh boy. So we have these 2 minus these 2. Has a difference of 7 or 8. Okay, 2 digits. Okay, first of all, 1 and 2 can't be here. Okay, so this has to be... Could be reef, 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 or reef, 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 reef. This, no matter what, is not reef. It's water. Oh boy, that's a lot of information there. So this is water. This has to be reef here. Because it either goes 4 reefs here or 4 reefs here, because they must be orthogonally connected. Which means this is water here. Okay, so these 2 must be 7 or 8 away from both of these. This is... Could be... It's not... It's either... The combinations are... Well, it has to be at least 7. So if this... Okay, can this ever be... Well, first of all, these can't be 1 or 2. So this is difference must be at least 7 also. And this can be at most 10 minus 10 minus 1, which would be 9. So this is at most 9. So this is at least 7 here, and at most 9. Well, that means this is going to have to be 7 or 8 greater than these 2. So this is going to have to be like... so 7 or 8, 7 away from 7 is 14. So this is at least 14, which means this is 5 through 9 here. Obviously no 6 here, no 9 here. That, since this can't be 9, this can't be 5, because that 5 and 8 only adds up to 13, which is not far enough away from 3 and 4 here. So this can't be 5. Therefore, this is a reef. We also have these 4 have a difference of something between these 2. Now that's interesting also. This is kind of hard to see. I hope that you guys can actually see this, but it's hard for me to spot this. Therefore, since this is reef, we can't have any other reef go to the 1, 2. I guess you could. No, you can't go 1, 2, 3, 4 because then that would break the water into non-orthogonally connected regions. So can't reach here, can't reach here. So this is water here. We have water here. And it must orthogonally connect. Otherwise, so this can't go reef all the way here because that would block this. So this is water there. That's not helpful. These 4 must have a difference from these 2. Oh, well, the rest add up to 30. Huh. So this cannot be 6 and 9 here. We know if this is reef, that would be 6 and 9. Oh, it could be. You could have 3 here and then 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay, never mind. That could work. Dang it. Okay. We definitely know there's a 9 here. That's all we really know. Can you have 3 and 6 there is kind of the question, right? 3 and 6 has 9. So 3 and 6. Would mean... Does that actually work? 3 and 6, we know a 9 is guaranteed here. 6, 1, and 2 is 9. So the difference between these 2 digits, the remaining digits here, would have to be 3, which is not possible. So this cannot be 6 here. So this is blue, which means this is green, green, which is a 6, 9 pair, which eliminates 6 and 9 in the rest of the column, so the rest are blue here. So we have all blue here, which means this is all green here. This can't be 6 here. This is 3, 5, or 4, 5, or 3, 4. We don't know. This is 3, 4, 5 here. Remaining digits here are 1 through 5. This can't be 5. It's 6 through 9 here. So it's 6, 7, 8 here. This is 3, 4, 5 here. 3, 4, 5 here. This is 7, 8, or 9 here. This cannot be 3 here. If one of these is 3, that would mean the difference between these 2 and this one would be 1, 2, or 3. But 1, 2, and 3 would only add up to 6 here. So 3 cannot be here. It's 1, 2, 4, or 1, 2, 5 here. Because we have guaranteed 1 and 2 here because neither of these can be 1 or 2. Because of the 1, 2 guaranteed in column 7 and 8 in boxes 3 and 6. So either this is 1, 2, 4, or this is 1, 2, 5, which means this cannot be 9. So this is 7 or 8, which means this is a 9 here. And we guaranteed 3 has to be one of these 2. This is 15. 15. So removing 3 would work. Removing 4 would work. Removing 5 would work. right? 1, 2, 3, 4 is 10. 15 minus 10 is obviously 5. Removing 4 means 1, 2, 3, 5 is left, which is 11. 15 minus 11 is obviously 4. So those all work. These, you cannot go all the way across to be reef, so this must be water. These three, okay, so these three must be double what these three are, because these three have a difference of that. These two have a difference with that of this digit. And obviously you can't have one of these have to be 1 and 2 in some order. And then we have 4 or 5 with it. So they must specifically just add up to that digit. Well, since these three add up to this digit, the difference between these three and these three must be double. Right? So, if we have 8 here, this would be 8, this would be 1, 2, 5. This would be guaranteed to be 6 and 7. So that would force 3 to be there. If we have 7 here, that does not work, because if this is 7, this is 1, 2, 4. Therefore, this would be 6, 8 already. 6, 8 is 14. 7 plus 7, obviously. The difference between 14 and 7 already is 7, but we have another digit here. So therefore, this has to be 8 here, and this must be a 6, 7 pair. This must be then 1, 2, 5 here, which eliminates 5 in the rest of the column. This then can't be 5. It's 3, 6, and 7 add up to 8 times 2, right? Because these 3 minus 8 is 8. So this must be 3 here. This is 4 there. That eliminates 3 from being here. This can't be 4. No 4 here. Okay. So this is 16 at most. This is 15 or 16 total. The 6, 7 pair eliminates 7 here. So this is 8, which makes this 7. So this is a difference of 7 between here and these. Okay. This can no longer be 3, 4. It's guaranteed to have a 5 here. So that means this is at least 9 here. If this is 3 and 5, that makes this 4, which makes that 2. So we'd have 4 and 2 there, which would mean this is 1 here. So 3, 5 would force this 3, 5 forces this to be 1, 5 here, or 2, 4 here, which forces that to be 1. So then this is 2, 3, 5 there, and 1 would not work. So if we try to have 3, 5 here, that again forces this to be 2, 4, which makes that 1. This is 2, 3, and 5, which is 10, which is 1 away from only 9, and that doesn't work then there. So this cannot be 3, 5. It has to be 4, 5 here. So this is 4 and 5, which makes this a 1, 5 pair. That's 2 away from 8, which does work. So this is 4, that's 5. That means this is 5 and 1 there. This is 2 and 1 there. This is 3. That leaves this as 4. 1, 4, and 5 is 10. Minus 2 is 8. So that's 7 there. 4 and 3 add up to 7. So this is 3. 1 eliminates 1 here, so that's 2. 1 eliminates 1 here, so that's 2, which makes that 1. Okay. remaining okay, so this is 7 away from these two. So that's 9 plus 7 is 16. So this must be 7 here, which makes this 6 here. Okay, so these arcs are these two cells and these two cells. That's is 14. 7 away from 14 cannot be up. It can't be 14 plus 7, which would be 21 for 2 digits. So it has to be 14 minus 7, which is 7. And we don't have 1 and 2 available, so this is a 3-4 pair, so these are both C. So we have 3, 4 here. Remaining digits in column 6 then have to be 5, 6, 7, 8. And this can't be 7 or 8 because of 7 or 8 in the row. So this is 5 or 6. Okay. Huh. Remaining digits of row 2. We have 3, 4, 6, 8, 9. Remaining digits of row 3. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Interesting. There's going to be 2 cannot be here because of 2 in the box. Only 1 out of these is going to be reef. But 1 does have to be reef. This cannot be reef because if that's... Okay, so can this... Well, okay. Let's continue. Remaining digits of row 4 are 4 through 8. Remaining digits of box 8 are 1, 2, 5 through 9. Obviously no 7 or 9 here. No 6 or 8 here because of 6 or 8 in the row. Huh. Okay. No 5 here because of 5 in the row. So this must be 6, 7, or 8, which is a reef. So that's reef. Aha, and we have this information. So these two add up to 5. These two must be at least 13. And therefore they have to have a difference of 4 and 9 with 8. Because that's the maximum these can... So the minimum this can be is 4 and 9. The maximum this can be is 8. If we try to have 5 and 6 there, that's going to be 11 at most, which doesn't work. This is 5 and 7, again, has 12 at most, so that can't work. So this must be 8 here. So this is 8, and this is 4 here. And this is water. That eliminates 4 from the rest of the row. The reef cannot go here to block here, because and this can't be 8 because of 8 in the box. So if we try to go here as reef, it's too far. So this must be water here, which makes it a 5. So that's 5, which eliminates 5 in the rest of the row. So these are all reefs, which means 9 has to be one of these 3 cells here, which means this can't be 9. So that's 6. This is 9. This can't be 5 because of the 5 in the box. So this is 6, which is reef. Reef has to be one of these two. This must be water. This can't be 6 or 8 because of 6 or 8 in the column. Same with this. No 6 or 8. 5 or 7. 5 eliminates 5 in the rest of the column here. 4 eliminates 4 in the rest of the column here. No 5 here. Okay, so this is 1, 2... 7 cannot be here. So the rest of row 6 are all C, which forces this to be a reef. So this is 7, and this is a 1, 2, 3 triplet here. And then this has to be 1 through 5, and this has to be 1, 2, 3 with 9. And we don't know where the 9 is. Okay. 7 eliminates 7 in both of these cells. Hmm. 4 can't be here. 4 can't be any of these. So 4 is guaranteed to be one of these two. So if this were reef, that would block access for the C cells to orthogonally connect to the 4. So this cannot be reef. It has to be water, and it's not 7. This can't be 7 because then that would force 4 to be there. And then this reef would be not connected to any of the other digits. So this cannot be 7 here. This must be water. We could have water connecting to here. And 5, 3, and 4. That is possible. Or any of these are... So any of these 3 are water, which means these have to be reefs. So those are reefs. Which means it's 6 through 9 here. Do we have any other information? Not particularly. I'm curious what the... Okay, so that was the... Those are the phantoms, interestingly enough. This, for some reason, is not phantom. I don't really know. I'm not really sure why we need to use the pen tool at all. Anyways, let's continue. I can't tell. So I don't really have any more information, really. Technically, this could be C if we go all the way here. Can this ever be C? Yes, if it goes like that. You know, one of these 3 is reef, but that's not that helpful. We have those 2 and those 2. Oh, well, no, we already have that. 6 and 8. 14 minus 7 is 7. Yeesh. Remaining digits of row... Oh, that's interesting. Row 1 are 1s, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we're guaranteed a 1 here. We're guaranteed 2 out of these 3 are C cells. C cells or Shelley sells seashells by the seashore. But these are C cells. Anyways, at most one of these is C. And we could have 2... Okay. How does this work? Remaining digits. Remaining digits. Eesh. 1 is the difference between 2 and 5, and 8. That's fine. This is all done. This is done. Kind of stuck, actually. I'm not sure where else to go. It probably has to be something with the shadings, would be my guess. But this is all kosher. Any of these could be 9. This has to be 4 and 5 as a pair, but we don't really have any more information there. This could be certainly the C. This could be the C, or this could be the C. All of them work. Maybe anything else. That's clearly shaded. Okay. Digit 6. Okay. Containing a pairs will equal to the difference between the values of those arcs, right? That's it. Okay. This is confusing then. What other shadings do we have any other shadings here? So if this is water, we could do water, water here, water, water here, or water, water here. That's all perfectly fine. If this is reef, then that guarantees reef here. This can't be 7 because of 7 in the column. Oh, well, that means one of these two cells is a 7 here, which eliminates 7 in the rest of the row, so this can't be 7 here. How does this work here? So, okay, this is done. The difference between 7 and 3 is definitely 4. The difference between 6 and 5 is 1. The difference between all of these added up together, which is 1, 5, 6, plus 1 and 2, plus 1 and 2, that's 12. Plus 3 and 3 is 18, which is the difference between 9, the difference of 9 between 9 with 9. Difference of 1, 4, 5, which is 10, minus 8 is 2. Difference of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 and 9 is 5. Difference of 4 and 5 and 7 and 9 is 7, because 16 minus 9 is 7. Whatever is difference here, it's either 1, 2, 5 there, which is going to have a difference of 5 between 8 and 3. If we have 1, 5 here, that's 6. 8 minus 6 is 2. 2, 5 here means this is 1. 3, 6, and 7 adds up to 16, which minus 8. 1, 2, 5 is 8. 6 and 8 is 14, minus 7 is 3 and 4 added up together, which is 7. 1 and 4 is 5. 4 and 9 is 13. 13 minus 5 is 8. So those are all satisfied. So we need to figure out, it's probably, it has to be shading though somewhere then. Again, we tried having 7 be, well, 7 can't be here because of 7 in the column. Because this can't be 7, it must orthogonally connect. The reefs have to orthogonally connect, which means it couldn't be there, so therefore it had to be here. And I think this one couldn't be, this one had to be a reef also. These must both, then this can never be 7 here. We can't have a 7 here because a 4 is guaranteed to be one of these two. So if this is 5, obviously that's 3 and that's 4. We are guaranteed 1 reef here and 2 C's. Can this be 7 here? No, it would separate the reef. So this can't be 7. So this has to be water. There we go. That's what we needed. So that, okay, so these two and this digit must have a difference of 2, 3, 4, or 5. Which means this is at least 13. 13 minus a difference of 5 at most means this has to be 8 or 9. So this is Reef. So this is Reef. 13 minus 2 doesn't work. Minus 3 doesn't work. So this is 4, 5. We have a 3, 4, 5 triplet in row 3, which eliminates 3, 4, 5 in the rest of the row. So this is 2 or 7. This is 2 or 7. If this were 2, that would force Reef to be here, and they have to orthogonally connect, but that would block this. So this cannot be 2. It has to be Reef, which is 7. And this is water. So this is 2 here. We have 2 here, and this is 7. This has to be, again, a difference of... This is 13 at minimum. 13 minus 4, 5 at most is 8 at least. So this is 8 or 9. So that must orthogonally connect. This can't be 1, because if that's 1, it can't be 1 or 5. Because if this is 1 or 5, it has to be water, but this is too many waters here to orthogonally connect. So this has to be Reef. We have 3. 7 can't be here because of 7 in the column. Can this ever be 7 and 8? The answer is no. We have 6. That means we have a guaranteed 9 here. So this cannot be, these cannot be reefs because they must orthogonally connect to the rest of the reefs. So there's no 6, 8, or 9 here, which means these are both water. 3 eliminates 3 in the rest of the box because one of these is guaranteed to be 3. We have guaranteed 4 reefs in column 3, so the rest are water, which means this cannot be 9. This is all water, which is 1 through 5. 9 is eliminated in the rest of box 1. So one of these is reef, one of these is water. Can we have 8 here? If this is 8, this is 7. This would be 6 here. It would have to be 8 and 5, and that would be 6 and 7. If this is 9, can we have an 8 here is kind of the question. 8 and 9. 8 would force this to be 9. Which means... Eight and 9 have a difference of 1. You could have 6, 8 with 5 there. So I think 6 has to be both of these. So again, if this is 8, that's 9. 9 has a difference of 5 in both cases. So, well, can we have 6 and 9 here is kind of the question. Maybe. These are all C cells. We have 4 C cells already in column 1. That means we have 1 C cell left. One of these is reef, the other is water. One of these is reef, one of these is water. Okay. This can never be 7 and 8, though, right? Because 7 and 8, it doesn't have a difference between there. So this has to have a 6, which means this can never be 6. Where is the 6 in column 1? It has to be one of these two digits. Can we ever have water here, then? If this is water, that means the 6 would have to go around here, which is impossible. Well, okay, yeah. It would have to go here, and then this would break the water into non-orthogonally connected cells. So this cannot be water here. This has to be reef, which is 7 or 9. Okay. And we have the arrows here. So one of these must be reef, and the other must be water. Obviously, the difference here cannot be 9, because the difference between two digits is never 9. So this is 7. So we have 7 here, which makes this 8. So this is 6, 7 as a pair. That means this is 6, this is 7. 13. 6 eliminates 6 here. So this is 8, 9 as a pair, which eliminates 8 and 9 in the rest of the box. So this can't be 8 here. We are guaranteed a 6 in one of these two cells. 7 is here. We could have 6 and 9 here. 9 can't be here. So 9 is one of these three. Where is 7? This can no longer be 7 here, so 7's one of these two, which is not helpful. Okay, the difference between these two, we have to have 9 and 1. Sorry, 9 and 2 or 8 and 1. So the case would be either this is 9 and this is 2. Or we could have a 1-8 pair here. We do need an 8 here in column 2 because we can't have it, it's not available in the rest of the boxes in column 2 because of the 8-9 pair in the row here, or in the box here, and 8 already in the box here. So this must be, and this can't be 8 because of 8 in the row, so this one of these must be an 8. So it must be a 1-8 pair, which eliminates 1 and 8 in the rest of the column and box. So no 1 here. Where is 1 in column 3? It must be one of these two, which means neither of these can be 1. And this can't be 1 because of 1 in the 1-8 pair in the column. So where's 1 in box 1? It has to be here. So this is 1 here. This cannot be 6, so 9 cannot be here. 9's one of these two. Remaining digits in this cell here specifically can be 2, 3, 4, 5, or 9. So 1 is going to have to be one of these two, so that's a blue there. We have a blue there. This could be blue or not blue. We don't know. 2 eliminates 2 in the rest of the column. So no 2 here, no 2 here. Remaining digits of column 1. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9. Obviously no 9 here. No 3, 4 here because of 3, 4 in the row. This can't be 3 or 4. It's 2 or 5. That's interesting. Oh, the difference between these two and this digit has to be 2, 3, 4, or 5. Interesting. 2 and 1 doesn't work. Can this ever be 8? 8 and 2 is never going to be whatever away from 1. 8 and 5 is never going to be whatever away from 1. So this has to be 1 here. So this is 1 and this is 8, which means this is water and this is reef. Well, since both of these are reef, this must be reef here. And therefore it is a 6 because there's no other place for that. We don't know what the difference between this is. So 1 and 2 gives you 5 difference between 8 and that. 1 and 2. 1 and 5 add up to 6, so 8. So this has to be a 2-5 pair, which eliminates 2, 5 in the rest of the box. This can't be 5 anymore. It's 9 and is a reef. So this is 9 and is a reef. This is water because it cannot be 9. This is not reef, that's water. This is reef here. So 9 eliminates 9 in the rest of the box. This can't be 9, it's 3. That eliminates 3 from being there, so it's 4. This can't be 3 or 4, it's 5. No more 5 in the row, no more 3 in the box. This has to be a 9. Okay, this has to be water. And it's not 9. That's all we know. This is 2, 5 as a pair, which eliminates 2, 5 in the rest of the box. So that does help that. Which means this is 3, 4 as a pair. This eliminates 2 from being here. So that's 1, which makes that 2. This can't be 1 or 2 because of 1 already in the box and 2, 5 pair in the column. So this is 4, which makes this 2. There's no 2 here. It's 1 and 3 as a pair. 2 here. This is 3, 4. 4 eliminates 4 in the rest of this box, so this can't be 4. This is 5. That means this can't be 5 here. It's 6. This can't be 6 here. It's can't be 4. It's 3. So this is 3, which makes this 4, which makes that 3. This is water, and this is reef. And 13 minus 5 is 8. So this is 8, this is 9. No 6 or 9 remaining in row 1. So this can't be 9, it's 8, which makes this 7. That leaves this as a 5 and as water. So the rest of the box is reef. That means this can't be water, it's reef. The reef must go out that way. Cannot reach here because if that's the case, then it would break the water up into 2 segments. So this has to be water here. Reef can't reach here, so this is water here. No 6 or 8, no 6 or 8. 3 eliminates 3 here, so this is 4 and 3. Water, water here. This can't be water. It can't because it can't orthogonally connect that way. 2 eliminates 2 here, so that's 1. There's no 1 here, no 1 here. These 3 have a difference of 1 with these 3. 1 eliminates 1 here, so that's 3 and 1. 3 eliminates 3 here, so that's 4. This 5 eliminates 5 here, so it's 3. This has to be a 6-9 pair here. We have 5 waters in column 4, so the rest are reef. Since those are both reef, this must be water. This can't be 1 or 2, so that's 9. 9 eliminates 9 here, so it's 6 and 9. That means this can't be 1 or 9 here because they are both water, and we have a 1 and 9 in the column. That leaves this as a 6, this as an 8, and this as 7. So no 1 here. That means this has to be 1 here. These 3 must be different from these 3 by 1. So it's 1, 2, 5 is 8, which means this must be 9 or 7. We already have 7 here, so this must be 9, which makes this 2. That leaves this as 5. 2 eliminates 2 here, so it's 5 and 2, which eliminates 2 here, so that's 5 and 2. Woo! That was kind of crazy. That must be it. The narrow channel your father used to slip between the jagged shoals. The pounding on the door startles you to your feet. You dart to the door and throw back the bolt. Your father's face is ashen, and the tall man behind him smells of the sea. Your father gently plucks the compass from your hand and places his other hand upon your shoulder. Sandy, I'm sorry, but I need rely on you to run the shop while I'm away. I know I can count on you, but I may be gone for some time. Interesting. It's hard to see some of these things. It's a very cool concept. It's a very interesting concept about these arcs, right? There's a lot of math involved, though. And then there's a lot of coloring, too, involved. But I like coloring, and I do pretty well in math, so they're both, I guess, kind of down my alley. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this solve, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.